Hello, I'm Gavin Duffy and I'm very proud to be the age-friendly ambassador for County Louth and to help in any way I can to promote the great work of Age-Friendly Ireland. Ageism. It refers to the stereotypes, prejudice and discrimination that is directed towards people on the basis of their age. It's how we think, how we feel, how we act. It can be institutional, interpersonal, and at times even self-directed. The depiction of older people in television, in movies and in advertising needs to be more inclusive and has to move away from that traditional portrayal of older people as wrinkled and frail.
When I was younger, we weren't conscious of an age difference at all. Everyone sort of stayed together. And I think because we were attached to our grandparents, and nowadays I think we're not. I think the youngsters don't meet their grandparents as often as we used to do so. And it bugs me a bit that they really assume that because you're older, you've lost it as well as that. No, okay, I suppose the technology has left us a little bit behind and we have to grasp to catch up. But that's the only negative that I think, really. But I do think that places like RT and the news and things like that, they should give us more positive time and not show us, as we'll say, fragile. Okay, we're getting older and we weren't presented with spare parts. So we have to live with what we have. But having said all that, we could get more positive airtime.
Now, ageism is also influenced by what we see and do. Do we think service providers, for example, are ageist in their attitudes towards their older customers?
If you go to a bank or go to somewhere, you are not treated like any other one. You are treated differently. You are treated that you are aged, that you are over age, and that really hurt. If you think about it, put yourself in the shoes of the male or the female who's over 70 and going somewhere to do something and they feel they are treated differently, not better, differently, and that make a big thing than others because they are overaged. It really doesn't feel good.
You could look at a person and say, oh, they're getting old. Or you can say a person, God, didn't they age very badly? What a word. Don't describe a person as ageism. That doesn't exist in my life. It's wrong. And anybody that says to me, oh, didn't they age very badly? I'd say, sorry, excuse me. They're fine. They're enjoying life.
Age-Friendly Ireland wants to create a world where the next generation coming up needn't fear ageing. We want to create a world, a narrative, an environment where people will embrace ageing from a young age. When ageing is something that should be celebrated, are we often guilty of what's known as self-directed ageism? Of not wanting to reveal our own age? I wonder what effect does this have on us?
The bit that is very dangerous to me is when people internalise ageism and think of themselves as past it or whatever, because that actually has a detrimental effect on your own sense of well-being and ability to do the sort of things that you might be capable of doing. So it can have a tremendously negative effect, as well as prevent people from getting involved in intergenerational projects and so on. We're disadvantaged, I suppose, now in comparison to my childhood, where multi-generational households were more the norm. Now, Granny may not be living there. Granny may be quite a distance away. And the children may not have as much opportunity as they used to have to mix and meet with older people. But where they have, it tends to work extremely well.
Let's work together to strongly position a culture of positive ageing so that the next generation does not fear ageing in the same way we have in the past. Research tells us that our 70s is one of the happiest, most contented times in our lives. So what are the positives of being older?
I should say that I am much happier than when I was a teenager. And then when I was 14 and 16 and 18, at least I don't have all these issues, which I feel sorry for all the kids nowadays have. And I'm not saying kids, sorry, for young men and young women have it nowadays. I feel more relaxed. I am thinking before I do anything. I am, well, have more wisdom, if I can put it to myself. And before I do anything, my mistakes is very calculated. My risk is very limited, which was not the case when I was young.
Do you know, age is only a number. And if you think about what age you are, it'll bring you down. So forget about what age you are. It's about your health. And if you're happy-go-lucky, then it doesn't matter what age you are. You can still do the things younger people are doing. You can dress up, you can put on that splash of makeup, splash of perfume, and whatever. So ageism shouldn't be there at all. It's all about youth, thinking about yourself as being youthful and still youthful. And I know there's people out there that's sick or whatever, you know, and that can drag them down as well. But, you know, take a book, read a book, take time to reflect. You know, light a candle, sit there for 10 minutes, reflect on your past, and that'll help you as well.
By 2050, they expect 30% of the population will be over 65. That's huge.
In Greece of old, they looked up to the older people very much, you know, and I think we lack that here. We're not using the expertise that the older people have in a way that they should. Not portray them, we'll say, as fragile and going around in their slippers. Now, we might have our slippers, but having said all that, the expertise is in the head, and we have the experience of life.